Hello, everyone. Welcome to a new episode, Day in the Life of a Trainer. This time, I'll take you behind the scene of our training, workshops, and educational program. Before starting, it's important to know that I got into the coffee industry through training and through workshops. Memli Coffee Lab started as a coffee studio first in London, UK in 2016, 2017, before what it is today. And so it's really important the power of learning and the power of teaching. That's why I put a huge importance on education, workshops, and sharing both my passion but also my knowledge with fellow coffee lovers or just life enthusiasts. Coffee can not just be for coffee lovers, but anyone who enjoy flavors of life. And so that's why I took a lot of fun and attention to details to create those experiences. A good experience and a good workshop starts with safety and security. So it's very important, as you see in the beginning, to clean up the space, making sure everything is sparkling clean. Then I use some of the techniques learned in hotellery and restaurant to make sure everything is straight, the same, with a good distances. Some people might think it's overly doing it, but I believe once again that it's how you do anything that you do everything. So it's important that every single cup are also clean, dry at similar distances, and that level of accuracy and dedication to detail will then be perceived as a higher value later on during the tasting. So tasting and workshop starts with, as I said, a lot of safety, cleaning, hygiene, and good preparation for that. We have now a new menu, so every time I change the menu every weekend, and based on the coffee we have, I also play with the seasonality of the coffees and the mood of the day. So that's why menus are printed differently every week. And this is our signature tasting where we are doing 4 flights. The first is different origin to introduce people to different region of the world of coffee. Then different processes to introduce once again any coffee lover to that complexity of processing at the farm. I put a lot of attention to explain people that more than 50% of the quality of a coffee comes from the farmer. Then the third flight is about tasting side by side the same coffee brewed in 2 different ways. I sometimes do a V60 versus a flat bottom brewer, or sometimes a V60 versus a French press. The idea is just to taste the difference at home, and that's where I get more geeky about home brewing, basically. Then we taste the same coffee brewed either on a siphon sometimes or on a switch, but this time on 2 different cup shape. I have a ceramic tulip shaped cup and the classic glass cup that we are using. By the way, those glasses are the ones we use in the French canteen from Duralex. They made durable glasses, and I'm not sponsored by them, but I hope one day will be, because I use their cups almost every day. They are almost unbreakable for the kids in school that break and that drops the trays. Anyways, coming back to education, this is our first tasting we launched in 2017. From this teaching and these classes, I then launched the advanced coffee tasting and the professional coffee tasting. And later on, I started teaching about brewing, hand brewing, more hands-on experiences with pour-over classes, barista using espresso class and latte art combining together. Ibrik Jezve, recently also roasting, home roasting and roasting for production master class, and sometimes we do some spin-off like the palette development series, as well as some coffee and chocolate and coffee and dessert pairing. And soon I'll be launching a coaching class to help fellow roasters, fellow coffee professionals to create their own experiences and allow more coffee lovers to discover specialty coffee. I think that there's a lot to do in the coffee industry. And the idea is that you do your best at your level. And that's where in hospitality, I can help more people to reach their potential. And by putting my little work at the service of other coffee professionals, as I always say, you don't know what you don't know. And you only love the things you care about. And you care about the things that you know and that adds value to your life. That's why I've been doing this workshop since 2017 to add some value to everyone interested in taste or in coffee in general. Here I'm making my own water as usual using distilled water, 1 gallon, and I'm adding the minerals that I've created. Usually for classic tasting like that, I use 50 part per million of alkalinity, 25 part per million of magnesium, and 50 part per million of calcium as calcium carbonate. Once everything is done, I always do a double, triple check, bring in some water to drink and to rinse the palate. So this experience also includes a little bit of pairing with sometimes baked goods, sometimes berries, bit of decor, and a lot of coffee. So it's important to also have water for people to rinse the palate, of course, but also to don't get over caffeinated. I think that's pretty important for anyone to be comfortable when discovering something new. Specialty coffee, it's weird. It's so different than coffee. And so we have to put our best foot forward by just making sure everyone is comfortable, safe, secure, and ready to learn. Once again, we are not pushing to teach, but we are just sharing all our passion and our knowledge to coffee lovers. After prepping all this beautiful table with all those cups, it's time to get ready, change ourselves in our classic Memli outfit. But in that process of teaching, I also start coaching other roasters, and that's what we are going to release this year, a coaching program with 20 different modules about organizing a coffee experience, and it starts with the setup, what kind of experiences, but also the hospitality, how to communicate your passion in the easiest way with coffee lovers. Here I'm pre-grinding the coffee. Yes, it helps with the flow. When you are teaching or talking to guests, sometimes the grinder is noisy, or actually it's always noisy. So that's why I pre-grind my coffee 10 minutes before the guests arrive, and that keeps it quite fresh because our experience lasts an hour and a half, 2 hours. So it's still really good. Also having fresh coffee. So all our coffees, as you know, are roasted on Monday. This is Saturday, day 6 after roasting with our light profile for filter on our lowering is a good way to kind of pre-ground your coffee, let it degas a little bit so that it's a little bit rounder when you are brewing on a pour over or on a French press. So that's why I do pre-ground all the coffees for the experiences, except of course when it's a pour over or barista experience. Then everyone ground the coffee fresh. And sometimes I use different roasters, different coffees based on availability to showcase really, especially in this first flight, 3 different coffees that showcase either different region or different taste profile. I always have a more chocolatey coffee alongside with a more stone fruit and sugary coffee and a very floral and bright cup of coffee. The idea is for any coffee lover to experience the nuances and the change of taste based on different coffees and pick the ones that they like. Remember, the best coffee is always the one you like. And once again, I always measure the coffee in and out, so that when I'm pouring the coffee and putting the coffee on the dripper, I don't have to measure again and again. It just helps with the workflow. I do that with any tasting workshop so that it goes a little bit faster, it flows nicer. We don't impact the taste much when we are pre-grinding the coffee, just a few minutes before. Here it's about 10 minutes before, or for the last coffee that will be about an hour before, and actually almost help sort of homogenize the brew. Coming back to the coaching, besides learning about the experiences, the safety, but we will also learn about hospitality, how to create this kind of process so that everything is a little bit smoother when you're organizing your experience. And then I just tackle every single experience. We don't organize a tasting the same way we organize a brewing or roasting class or any other sort of teaching segment, especially pairing, where there's some food involved. So we really cover everything in that coaching class, coaching session. So if you're interested, just email me so I have more idea about what you are trying to achieve. And this is after the aftermath, the mess that I have to clean. Moving on, always at 1 p.m. So 10 a.m. is a tasting class, and often at 1 p.m. we do a brewing class. Today it was the barista series or the espresso class, using 2 hours, the first 2 hours for espresso making and dial-in, and then the last hour for milk throttling and latte art. We also have once a month the pour-over class. Another week, once again, once a month, is the barista or the espresso, the one we have right now, that you see right now. Another week will be the hybrid jezve class, which requires a total different teaching method, as well as different chemistry and physics behind brewing the hybrid jezve. And the last week, it's often at 1 p.m. the advanced tasting class. And sometimes on Sundays, we do the roasting classes or the professional tasting classes. Those classes are 6 hours or 8 hours long. It takes a little longer for the professional class or for the roasting classes. And those are all one-on-one classes. And then here, before the guests arrive, so the barista class or even the prover class is only limited to 2 or 3 people. I kind of dial in slightly the coffee to make sure everything is all right, nothing is wrong about the coffee before they arrive, so everything is clean, safe, and expecting things to run smoothly. You never know what happened with machines, right? So always double checking, having everything in case we break things, because that can be quite clumsy. And after cleaning up everything, it's finally time to go. So a Saturday is actually a full day for us, starting early in the morning with some baking, then our tasting classes at 10 a.m., quick lunch, cleaning and preparation for the afternoon class, and then another cleaning session, and we're finally done for the day.